What's good, YouTube? This video is going to be about good men versus nice guys. Women often ask me, where are all the good men? And the answer is kind of dumb. I tell them that they are both everywhere and nowhere, just like shitty men. In fact, some women could walk into a crowd of nearly all good men and still pick out the shitty one like a needle in the haystack and go home with them. So sometimes it's about you, not the environment, but your radar. There's no one particular location. Sure, frequently visiting places or seeking activities that are of high interest to you and hopefully a potential partner in the future is a good start, but it's not always that simple as just sharing interests. Because when you find a guy that's decent, there's always still this question: is he a good man or a nice guy? And that's what we're here to talk about today. Good men versus nice guys and the gray area. But before we do that, I'd like to take a minute or so to tell you about this new great dating app and today's sponsor, Iris Dating. What makes the Iris Dating app different is that it uses artificial intelligence to figure out over time what type of faces you're attracted to. This is valuable because studies show that some women on average are only attracted to between 1 and 3% of the dating profile pics they see. Which is partly why women be so damn tired of dating sites. You always search through hundreds, if not thousands of pictures, just to find someone who piques your interest. Only for the DM conversations of those guys that piqued your interest to fall short of expectations. Many times it's because while you like their pic or their style of handsome, you might not have been their type. The attraction wasn't mutual. So the excitement on his end to have that conversation with you wasn't mutual. He may have been your type, but you were not his type. So after all that searching through hundreds of pictures to find a guy that you're finally attracted to, he might not be attracted to you. That's the issue that Iris is intended to solve. It's built to connect you on the likelihood of mutual attraction. That only 1 to 3% of interesting profile pics that women usually have has gone as high as 35% with the women on the Iris Dating app. That means you spend more time chatting with people who are mutually attracted to you and less time swiping through hundreds of pictures. Iris Dating uses artificial intelligence to learn your type and predict mutual attraction, which leads to better matches. You train Iris when you first start and it continues to learn your preferences over time, getting more and more accurate to the type of profiles you might be attracted to. Plus, Iris verifies 100% of its users, so there's absolutely no catfishing or fake profiles involved. It's live in New York and worldwide, so give it a try. It's growing every day. I tried the app as an experiment, obviously, because I'm married, but I did notice that it made adjustments over time. It got more and more accurate in predicting the types of beauty that I'm into, if I was single. The matches got more and more relevant to me. So if I was single, I'd actually want to try this app. So with that said, click the link below to give it a try. Now onto this topic. Good men versus nice guys. Sometimes disappointment and loneliness create a difference in what a man presents. If exposed too long to a solitary existence, a man may become overzealous or show signs of desperation when the potential for new love in his life presents itself. The time you meet a man and where he's at exactly on his journey means a lot. So keep that in mind as I read off this list. But I want to start with good men versus nice guy boundaries. Nice guys generally have no boundaries. Their time, attention, frequency, and proximity are all out of whack. It can seem like they're all in from day one, or like they would do anything told to them. They will give you whatever they had and all of their time from the very beginning. They're overeager and they don't require you to respond in certain ways to them to unlock their favor or their trust in you. They just hand it over immediately. They call too much, they are way too accommodating, and they can start to feel like employees or assistants while you're with them. You can stand a nice guy up, disrespect his time, and he'll still show up at another date without even checking you about the first date missed. You can tell him you're dating other guys and he'll suck up to you even harder to win your favor. He lacks a sense of independence, while on the contrary, good men always require respect for their time and their effort. They don't want to share, they set boundaries when appropriate, and they let you know when you've crossed the line. Now don't misunderstand me, a lot of ain't shit men have temper tantrums and fly off the handle to scare you into a position of submission. A lot of men pretending to be strong men overreact to stupid stuff to cause drama, to manipulate the ups and downs. I'm not talking about that. In a healthy enough way, good men can communicate their needs, but also their dislikes. It's not about drama with them, it's about progression. Unlike nice guys, they don't adjust what they put up with from you based on how much they like you. Their time is valuable and you must respect it. They have both pride and shit to do. So they're not sniffing behind you like a puppy dog waiting for a treat. They aren't bugaboos. They adjust what they offer based on the growth of the relationship and your response to them. If they feel themselves making progress, they graduate their efforts over time. Now with that said, there's a difference in the way that nice guys and good men handle validation. Nice guys will ass kiss you until their lips get chapped. They're always trying to get in your good graces, and their insecurity pushes them to brown nose. They actually project their insecurities onto you by over-complimenting you and giving you far too much validation. They're afraid you don't like them, so they never stop campaigning for your approval. On the contrary, good men will validate you to be polite or when it's necessary or needed, but it's not attached to any insecurity they have. They're not trying to win your approval, they're making observations. They're not complimenting to impress or to get on your good side. They attempt to validate you according to their observance of your needs. They want you to feel confident and feel noticed, but they don't intend to kiss your ass. Their main goal is just to empower you to feel more confident around them. They neither offer constant validation or need constant validation. They know who they are and they know their worth, and they expect you to know who you are and know your own worth, without them always needing to tell you. Now moving on from that, let's talk about leadership. Now this can be a tough one because a lot of women put a lot of stock in a guy making plans. That's not what I'm talking about here. Look at the things a man actually cares about to see his leadership. It's not about dinner plans, ladies. It's about life plans. It's about the relationship trajectory. A good man will set the direction for your relationship from the very beginning. He'll display relational leadership, respect, and observation skills. He's searching for certain qualities, so he'll open up as he discovers more of your better qualities and learns to trust you. A good man understands your need to know where things are going. He doesn't err on the side of ambiguity for very long. That's because he's both aware of your value and his own. He wants respect, and he demands respect, but he also gives you that much respect. Not to play with you. Now with that said, he won't let you play with him. He's willing to lose the opportunity if it doesn't appear that you know who you're dealing with, if you don't know his worth, if you appear to not be aware or to not care about his needs. He's willing to walk away, but he's not going to play with you. He's not going to be ambiguous about it. He's just going to walk away. Now with that said, if he chooses to stay, a good man knows when to lead and when to follow. A lot of weak men confuse control for leadership. They're so focused on the power struggle that they try to control things even when they are ill-equipped. Again, a good man knows when to follow and when to lead. Again, a good man knows when to follow and when to lead. He's not obsessed with power, he's obsessed with progress. Now with that said, on the contrary, a nice guy will hand you the proverbial pants to the relationship from the very beginning and let you decide 100% of what it becomes. He immediately is so smitten that his hopes decide all of his choices. Good judgment, respect, observation, and discernment aren't at the helm of his thought process. He's so desperate to make you like him that he hasn't even considered that maybe he shouldn't like you very much, or as much as he does, or if he should like you at all. He's so busy trying to get your approval by kissing your ass that his own worth and his own value never crosses his mind, and never influences his dealings with you or his responses to you. Now with that said, we're going to move on to self-esteem. A good man's self-esteem is set in place already. He knows who he is and his confidence is observable. It doesn't insult or intrude, and it often makes no display. Regardless of what any woman thinks of him, he has pride in the man he is. He doesn't have a fragile ego, and he doesn't get down when you don't approve of something he does. He's still living for him until the day that you become a real pair. Now, on the other hand, a nice guy's self-esteem is more obviously attached to you and your approval early on. He doesn't appear to be anchored in any source of pride in himself. His confidence in who he is and what he does changes minute to minute. Self-doubt often alters his trajectory with women, not knowing if he's good enough. Sometimes, ladies, you don't know how you feel about a guy because you can pick up that he doesn't know how to feel about himself. So he's looking for you to tell him how to feel about himself with every interaction. So in that case, it's understandable why a lot of women walk away from these confusing situations with these guys that seem to be nice enough, but don't have it all together. But unfortunately enough, the nice guys and the good men that I just described are often the same person. there is a big, giant, humongous gray area. There are nice guys and there are good men. And then there's the gray area, where a lot of people fall. People often compare nice guys to good men. But the idea that both aren't masculine is often wrong. Nice guys can be very masculine. Nice guys can be alpha men. Just not alpha to you. Sometimes a nice guy is a really good and strong and sturdy man who's only like that with you. A good man with the wrong woman can act more like a nice guy. If he's been single and really hoping for a relationship and a little bit desperate and that scarcity mindset has set in, or he just wants her more intensely than he normally wants any other woman. If his crush is too big. Whether you're a man or a woman, if you have a big enough crush, some people just melt our defenses and fry our circuits. We don't know how to be with them. So we really kind of divert to nice tendencies. Sometimes we just like someone so much that we just lose ourselves temporarily. And unfortunately, that's what a lot of you are witnessing when you deal with these nice guys looking for good men. Sometimes whether a guy is a nice guy or a good sturdy man is situational. It depends on the woman. A lot of guys can get hold of themselves eventually and toughen up after they've gotten settled in the relationship. But yet and still, others don't. Always ask yourself and try to observe, is a guy being too nice just the shock of him wanting you specifically, way too badly? Or is it just who he is? It would do you some good, ladies, to learn the difference between a guy with a huge crush on you and just a weak-ass man. Again, this is a very large gray area. A lot of y'all later down the line witness that same apparently weak man being a great, sturdy, strong man for another woman when he could have been yours. But you mistaked his crush for weakness and you didn't give him time to settle. So with that said, just take your time, try to be more observant and figure out what the source of his energy is sometimes. Is he weak or is he just smitten? Anyway, I could go on, but I think I've said enough. Don't forget to check out the Iris dating app and play around with that artificial intelligence. I think it's pretty cool. Maybe you can find a good man on there. At least you can't say you're not attracted to him if you find him on there, because that's what I get from a lot of women. All the good men are ugly or something stupid like that. Well, at least if you're dating someone from Iris, you're attracted to them. Anyway, the link to that is in the description. Follow me on Instagram at KFIC24. I'll get with y'all later.